Well, hello, welcome. Glad to have you back. So, I have decided Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, a game that I've been wanting to play for quite some time. What better way than play it on the channel? Different than the first two games that I played, not necessarily a horror game, but I do like the themes that I read within the synopsis, which, for just a quick breakdown, it is about a woman who ventures into hell to save the soul of her lover, beloved, a struggle, or that which you care about, which is something that I've talked about a lot. I do have things that I want to talk about specifically today with the recent transition with my wife and I for our daughter from public school to homeschool. So I can ramble about that today while playing some Hellblade. Come along.
Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why doesn't she feel you coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. I can feel you coming. Quiet.
Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking? He's in hell high.
Look, up ahead.
Hell high.
You see it too?
You promised you gave
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe.
It's there. They're here.
Can you see them? I can see you.
Look around and you'll see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here.
You see them.
This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you. They're watching. Stop. Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her. You're so close to the darkness. Go back. Can you feel it?
is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper. What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us.
There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
And here we go. Third person perspective. It's different.
Focus. Look closer. Look. Use your eyes. Is she looking closer? She needs to look closer. Focus.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Hellblade.
She needs to run.
The darkness is coming. Yearns for life. Hungers for it. Like a pack of wolves in a hunt. But she's not stopping. Not this time.
Can you see it?
The land of mist and fog.
He's in there.
The old fool was right.
Is he?
What was it he said? The river of of knives across which lies the halls of hell, the place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost.
Where are you? I hear you.
He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
They're
and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back?
So this story
She wants to rescue
is very intriguing to me. So I've been wanting to play this game for years,
soul still
and I just never got around to it.
save his soul.
And I think now is a great time to jump in.
The bridge to Helheim. I forget its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
Let's find this hidden path. Change of pace from the first two games, but I think close in theme nonetheless. That theme being what I have pretty much come to find as something that I'm wrestling with in my own life, and that's the fear of death, the reality of death. I think more so. In here, she's going to hell to find the soul of her beloved, her lover, and I think that's a, I don't know, fascinating setup. Let's see what this says.
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim, and that is where you must travel.
So we are venturing to the land of the dead. I wonder how the audio is coming out, because with the headphones I hear it all around, and I think that's, from what I've read, is crucial to the maximum enjoyment of this game. So on an adventure we go, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about something that we have just decided as a family, my wife and I, with my kids, and that is we have officially transitioned to a homeschool family.
Why did she do that?
And it's something that has been,
Now,
I think, years in the making.
the hidden path.
And we finally pulled the trigger in the last few weeks. And it was a easy decision to make, in the sense of when we really
He's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them. was just hiding. I find I live longer that way. Don't listen. I'll never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait. Who are you? It's just a memory.
Druth? Is that you?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
An old fool. Truth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
You have to take a closer look to see. Why isn't she focusing? She needs to focus now.
She needs to use her eyes.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate. It's near. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Follow it.
What's behind the gate?
Where will it take
Let us go.
It worked.
Okay,
I spent 6 years enslaved.
let's listen to old Ruth.
But
I'll continue after this.
learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people paid a heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
Another voice joins us. She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that? When we are always here. I guess it's the same with heights. You can stand on the edge, pretend it's going to be okay. But you know that death is near, waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side, and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
So the decision was easy, and getting to this point was kind of more the trickier part until we reached kind of like a stopping point.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead.
And that's when we decided to pull the trigger.
Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist it. Just give him back.
Oop. Okay, turning the buttons.
End it now. This is nearly the end.
Oh.
Behind you.
I cannot see.
You're winning. Your fault. Don't give up. Don't. You did this.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is wrought. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time. The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
He's not right.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Zurt, and the god of illusion, Valravn. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
To challenge the god.
She has to fight two gods first.
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born. Short, the fire giant has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind, and the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood.
And we will find him.
She found the wretched old fool on her way back from the wilds. An outcast. He was badly burnt all over. She took pity on him, for he was not long for this world. Like her, he spoke of his own darkness. The Northmen.
Senua, we each walk these lands gazing towards different horizons, some of us further than others. Your father cannot see what you see, but there is nothing wrong with seeing the world the way you do.
This is a very story-heavy intro. A lot of dialogue. Getting to the point where we pull the trigger is what took some time. I think when my wife and I got married and were on the road to starting to develop our family, there was always a thought in my mind that I wanted our family to have an anchor, or our kids to have an anchor in the home. I wanted my wife to be a stay-at-home mom, and it wasn't until we had our first child that my wife felt the strong desire to do that as well. Not that she never thought about it, but it was something about holding our, meeting our daughter for the first time, holding her, where she was like, I don't want to go to work. I want to stay at home and raise her and our other kids. So, fast forward to last year, my daughter is entering, school age, and we were questioning whether we would send her to public school or
I can still smell it.
stay at home, like a homeschool environment.
Sickly stench of burning human flesh.
Now, the school that my
Cries carried in the wind. Do you hear them too, Senua?
Yes, I heard their screams, and I still hear them now.
oh,
Are they screaming?
now the school that my daughter was going to, or the school that we were sending her, was my wife's sister, the teacher there. So she had talked to us about their VPK program, and so here we go. We decided, okay, we'll allow her to go to VPK. My sister-in-law is there.
The seal to the left.
She can watch her.
But you already walk amongst the dead. Look towards the gate, and you will see that it has opened.
It is open. So we felt comfortable enough. We got to meet the teacher, and we thought, okay, we'll send her for
Came to my lands,
this first year, and then when
begged for mercy.
she gets older, we will transition over to
Now that they had slumped
homeschool.
me like the others. I rode their storm of fire, death, slavery to many lands. This darkness you speak of, I know it well.
And I'm still here to fight it.
So, daughter goes in 2019 and 2020. We know at this point what happened then. So, around March, everyone starts going to home, schools essentially closed and everything essentially moved to a virtual environment. So my daughter was in VPK, but they still had a virtual option for her to finish the last 2 months. So that's when my wife committed to, just running through the modules with her. Well, modules. She's 4 going on 5. And it was really just kind of some activities, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't, it's the public school system. And it was just like, eh. So she finishes, now she's going to kindergarten, and then that's when we really have to ask the question, are we going to commit now, or are we just going to be complacent and just send her to kindergarten? And after having conversation, thinking deeply, we decided to let her go back to public school. My sister-in-law had a hand in picking her
No
kindergarten teacher,
device will stoke the fire.
and
spell
once again, we kind of
walk through
felt okay with sending her to the school.
to follow the path to Surt.
I'm running. So now the thought is
Hell
on my
will
mind.
give you the answers you want. But you mustn't look away from the horrors it does offer. Because you cannot overcome suffering if you refuse to look at it.
I like that.
Where's the fire gone? Where's it gone?
The fire's disappeared. The buyer.
Cert.
Cert is through
Waiting
there.
for you. He's waiting for her.
You can't get through.
How will she get through?
She'll need to find another way.
Truth and scent. Find your
The voices.
Another
The
way.
Northmen tell this story. Before the Earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright and hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks melted ice in the frozen world of Niflheim, creating the body of the first giant, Ymir. Muspel is one of the 9 worlds, and is now the land of the fire giants. And people from elsewhere cannot endure a journey there.
The thought is creeping in my mind.
She needs to find it.
I
Another fire sacrifice.
just letting my daughter go slowly into the world of public education. Are we doing wrong by her by not committing through raising her up ourselves.
Find it. She'll never make
And that was something I was
She needs to remember.
in wrestling
What happens when she
in
finds
this
it?
last year.
Thing will burn.
Concentrate on
So,
where you're going. She needs
Beginning of the 2020-2021 school year, it was either virtual or in person, depending. So we did virtual the first few months with my daughter's assigned teacher, and it was again module based,
The Northmen.
module based, not module based. It was
Slaves like me to reveal the path to Surt. I searched for meaning in their suffering, in their eyes. But they just screamed like helpless pigs.
it was a challenge. My wife had just given birth. I'm getting my timeline mixed up. She gave birth this year, but it was a challenge because my wife was pregnant, dealing with that, my daughter, and my son. So she had her hands full, and all the while I'm working full time. So I understood her. When, some days were a challenge, a little tough, and then, I wanted to help as much as I could. So, I try this again. Alright. I went the wrong way. Run! Run, Senua. Senua. I'm taking the long way. I need to stop with that. Miha, run. Run, Miha. Oh, goodness.
Do your gods answer your prayers, Senua? I asked the gods for mercy, all of them, even theirs. None answered. In the end, I set myself free. Defy the gods, Senua! Find your own path, like I find mine!
My gods abandoned me. I am alone.
In January of this year, we made the choice to let my daughter, another gate, go to in person. We wanted her to, I don't know why we decided. I guess we wanted her to go make some friends, kind of interact with other kids. But the caveat was she had to wear a mask. And it's something that I regret, because knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have made that decision. So now I am fervently against any of my kids wearing a mask. I'll wear a mask if I have to in the store. I don't really wear it. Well, I don't like to. But my kids definitely know. But, we live, we learn. So we let her go. We wore a mask, and it's one of the things that I wish I would have done differently. That being said, Fast forward to 2021, and once again, we are my sister-in-law. I need to find. Oh, okay. Fine. These has a hand in picking our daughter's
The Northmen of Hell worship the
teacher.
Devourers, insatiable gods of
The
darkness.
school switched to a mask
Aaron
optional,
was
and
the
that's
once
kind
one
of
my own gods, the Tuatha De Danann.
where I was like, okay, she can go.
Senua, I was a man of
She doesn't have to wear a mask.
a warrior.
She'll have a good teacher. Teacher is someone that my
Things
sister-in-law vouched for
like
heavily.
you.
She's, Christian woman.
I once was has died.
So we were like, okay,
It happens. Even
we'll let her go.
those you worship can die with you.
She started going. It was good. She was having fun. Okay, I need like an R.
The Northmen say that the defender of Muspel is called Surt, the foremost of the fire giants. His name means the Black One, because he is like something burnt. The Northmen believe that he sits at the border of Muspel with his flaming sword, and at the end of the world he will leave his post. He will travel to Asgard and Midgard, waging war against all the gods. He will be victorious, and then burn the whole world with fire.
Got it. Pro gamer here. I'm the best. So we let my daughter once again go into the public education system. And I am realizing that, or thinking, am I just, I don't know. I'm not trying to be condemning, but at the same time there is a conflict within me because I want my daughter to be homeschooled, all my kids. I want to be in charge of what they're learning. Alright, let's run. I don't want to die. I don't want the rot to creep in. Running. A lot of running in all these games. She automatically keep her balance? Don't know. This way. Oh, and I gotta fight? Okay. Oh. 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 Ugh.
Quickly get up! They're coming!
It is now. These fire parts. there is that conflict of one, you know, my actions speaking against what I want to believe. But God is merciful, God is good, and He continues to guide us into being better. So I can't say that I came to this, or we came to this decision just out of our own. We were pushed to it, but once we arrived, that's where I can say, like, now we are fully on board and committed.
He's down. Finish. There are too many of them to find still position.
It is done.
You said
But
the world has collapsed. Good. Let it collapse, and have the courage to shed your tears. Raise your world to a cry!
My world is dead.
Only then, as with a newborn, will you see the world anew.
No, I see nothing now.
how did we get here? What had to happen? And that is that the school that my daughter was assigned to went from mask optional to mask mandatory. And it wasn't an ideological shift. It wasn't that we learned they were teaching something we didn't agree with. That's what it was. And so it's kind of like thinking, where would the line have been in the other way? Now, my wife and I, we're firm in our convictions and our beliefs, so we know how we want our kids to grow up. But this thing here is what really got to us. We didn't want our daughter wearing a mask. We didn't want to, and I think it was more than that. It was that the state governor issued decree, a statement really, that there's one from our, parents should be able to dictate what is right for their
The
kids.
Northmen believe that the world will be destroyed someday. They call it Ragnarok, the destiny of the gods. Asgard will be attacked by Surt and the fire giants. A monstrous wolf will swallow the sun, and the gods will fight in vain against their enemies.
Tell me truth. How did you escape your darkness?
Senua, once I found my purpose, I was no longer enslaved to the suffering I had to endure to reach it. Unclouded by fear, I could see it clearly in others. Even my captors feared the fire of Surt. And so, during one raid, I took my chance and ran, knowing that they would not follow. The fool ran into the fire. They left me for dead. Maybe they were right to. But here I am. Free.
I'm glad I found you in the wilds. I wouldn't have made it without you.
Parents should have the right to dictate what is right for their own kids. And that's where it was for us. That the school stating you need masks, your child needs to wear a mask, is them saying, we think we override whatever you think is right for your kids. And that is, I guess, in a sense, the ideological shift that occurred. And you know what? We are firm in this. We believe that it is more harmful for our kids to be masked than this thing that they're claiming the mask protects against. Really, our goal is to see the information and make the best decision possible, and that's the decision that we have. That's it. It seems like it would be. I think all close. There. Yeah, that was it. Okay, got it. We know there is a vocal crowd who would deem us to be abusive, not caring for our children, not caring for others, and we just reject that notion. We will choose to be free and to raise our children in that freedom, in that liberty, and also understanding that raising them up to be paranoid, raising them up to be fearful of something that we believe is not harmful to kids. And it's not even just like a belief, it's just what is out there, the data that's out there. Our kids are not affected as much as they are, more so, by being masked. And I mean, my kids even say, I don't want to wear a mask, and that kills me inside, because there was a point where I wasn't like forcing them, but I did say, yeah, you should wear a mask, and encouraging them and, you know, pushing that on them. And they, as kids do, believed me.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This darkness takes everything. Everyone.
Senua, are you sure you want to do this? We can fight this together, side by side. We always do.
This is my battle. I have to face it alone, away from here.
Where will you go?
I don't know.
For how long?
I don't know.
I believe in you. You know that. Just promise me that you will come back to me. I want you to say it. I want you to say it.
I will come back to you. I promise.
Come on.
Spill the blood of Surt and take his mark, and I will chase you from the underworld and forever be in your debt.
You destroyed everything, everyone, but not me. Fight me now.
Okay, I'm getting reckless. Oh. Intense. Loving it.
For every battle won, a greater battle takes its place. And so it goes. Until we fall. And in the end, we all fall. Even the gods have their time. Yet we still go on. Why?
I made a promise, and I will go to hell to keep it.
I die free, knowing you will carry my stories with you. I have fulfilled my quest.
Yes, you have.
When the darkness comes, I vow to guide you in this life and the next to fulfill yours.
Then I will see you in hell.
Be ready to face horror in the eye, as I have, to find your answers, your quest, your truth.
We'll stop here. I think there's so much more left to say on kind of the topic of the homeschool and where we stand in our involvement in their upbringing. And that's where we kind of stand against anyone else stepping in and saying, no, I know. You may know more, you may know different things that we can benefit from, but at the end of the day, I am the father, my wife is the mother, and we make the decision for our kids because ultimately we want more good for them than anyone else can say they do, because my wife carried them, I would say, are all three of their births, and no one loves them more than we do, other than, of course, God. Talk more about it in the next one. This is kind of like just where we were and where we are now. So we refuse to let the state have a hand in our kids. So we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight by raising in the way that is best. With that, I'm gonna enjoy this day. I hope you enjoy yours. As always, right here is where you can find me. Come find me. Let's chat. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Help me grow. Join me in building a community of individuals who just want to do right by others. We are off for real this time. And as always, be good.